Yo, 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 what's good? What's good? Welcome to another episode of the CheckDown. I'm one of your hosts, Smitty. I'm here with the crew. What's good, JMIK? How you feeling, bro?
Oh, not much, man. Summer's here officially, so that's what's up.
Pop, what's good with you?
Chilling, chilling. Glad to be back with the people.
Certified. What's happening, man?
Ain't shit, bro. What's up with
Shit, I can't call it. I might spoil it, man. You know how
you?
it go.
Yeah.
But nah, obviously, man, it's been a slow week in the NFL world. Uh, not many things have transpired, but we did see a team. Um, with Super Bowl aspirations get better, man. They brought in Jair Alexander, you know what I mean, to bolster that defense. You know what I mean? Obviously, you add to a core of young guys. Now you got Marlon Humphreys, you got Wiggins, Malachi Starks, Hamilton, and then you got, they front seven to go along with that back half. Obviously the consensus around the NFL world, whichever part of the NFL world you're in, is Super Bowl or bust, man. Um, situation where they gave him all the pieces at this point to be successful. What do y'all? What's y'all opinion on the Ravens making this move, and what does this do for them? Like as far as this upcoming season, what's the expectations for far y'all eyes?
For me, it shows that they understood the back half of their defense last year was acceptable to a lot of passing yards and giving up plays and stuff like that. And I think signing Jair helps bolster that, even though I do feel like they did a great job in addressing that position in free agency and the draft. But adding Jair to that room just give you that added protection you need. Let's say if a guy does go down, I'm not saying Jair is not going to start, but I'm just saying if a guy goes down in your secondary, you know you have a player that you can just swap out to a different place, and he'll and that secondary will still work.
For me, they just add another piece to the secondary. Like safety wise, they're pretty good. Like Kyle Hamilton. He's recognized as probably one of the best safeties in the league. Whether you want to put him 1, 2, 3, 4, that's up to you. So he there. They had Marlowe playing boundary to start the season, and then they moved him to the slot, and then he was really good there because he made All Pro there. And then they drafted the kid out of Clemson, Nate Wiggins. He was pretty good for the most part, and then I think they drafted TJ Tampa too. So it just gives them more depth. It gives them more versatility. The only thing I like about Jair is what Jair's played like 8 or 9 games in the last couple of years. So I don't. I
Seven.
mean, like 7. So yeah, he hasn't really played a lot. He gets hurt a lot. Um, for me, my only concern is with the ages of him and Marlowe. Like those guys are kind of they're older guys. So I think you got to worry about injury when you're talking about the Ravens secondary. But even before they made the movement, for them it's Super Bowl or bust. Like I don't like. I was of that mindset. Before they got him. If you look at Vegas, them and the Bills were tied with the best odds to make the Super Bowl. I think, depending on what book you look at, I think FanDuel, both of them was plus 700. I think on DraftKings, I think the Ravens were slightly ahead of them. I think the Ravens were like plus 700. The Bills were plus 750. So to make the Super Bowl, so it's just like they already were Super Bowl or bust. They add another piece, and so yeah, like they should be able to make the Super Bowl. Like they should have made it last year. They should have made it the year before. Like I think they've been in this mode for a couple of years. Um, and like it just like I said, gives you added depth. And to me, no, like the coach don't have an excuse. The quarterback don't got an excuse. The offense don't got an excuse. The defense don't got an excuse. Like it's it's their time to get to the Super Bowl, and if they can't get there, it's a massive disappointment. I just think that's how you got to look at it.
Certified. I think you muted, good brother.
Oh yeah, he's definitely muted for sure.
Well, I go. I think adding a guy like Jair Alexander to a team that uh last year, if you look at their pass defense, I know it's not well known, but they were very bad. I mean, they were bottom of the league. I think this here solidifies some things if he can stay healthy. Obviously, you right, JMIK playing 14 games in 2 years, playing 20 in 4 years, or 30 in 4 years, something like that. You missed like 2 seasons due to injury. I think that's a big problem. But like ultimately, just looking at the situation, like he comes in, you in a room where you got plenty of protection. Where if you go down, if they go down, you can easily step into that role and play top level defense. I think Jair Alexander, when he is healthy, is one of the best cornerbacks in the league. Um, I kind of agree with y'all too, though. Like before they added Jair, I thought it was necessary for that team for what they've been able to accomplish to be in the Super Bowl. Um, AFC Championship game. I mean, they've been there, but it's time to win it, man. You got to get over the hump. I think to another degree though, like looking at it from a broader perspective, there's a couple quarterbacks like in the AFC that got the same type of implications on their jacket right now as far as like what they need to do this season. Only one can do it, so um, it's gonna be an interesting play out. But I do like the Jair Alexander ad. Then they got him for like 6 million, so it's beneficial even if he plays 6 or 7 or 8 or 9 games. Like 6 million for him to come in and give you 10 games of good football. I think they took that chance. You know what I mean? I think they think that is worth the risk. Uh, so I think I like the pickup. They definitely been adding to that secondary. I like what they got over there. Now you can lock Marlon inside if you need to and let him play inside while you get Nate, Jair, and TJ Tampa reps on the outside. So it's gonna be fun to watch that team this year, man. It's a lot of competition gonna be on that side of the fence. So definitely Super Bowl or bust. Definitely got to see what they can do this season. You played them this year, Mick?
Uh, yeah, because we played the whole AFC North this year, so yeah.
Oh yeah, y'all play week 4 or something like that. No, that's the Panthers. Y'all play week 4.
Yeah, we played them. I believe it's week either 14 or 15.
7 or 8. Oh, it's late.
Yeah, it's real late in the season. Yeah, I think we get them. Actually, I think we get them. It's 15. I think we get them right after the bye week. I think because our bye week's week 14. So
that'll be fun. That'll definitely be fun at that point.
Yeah, I mean, like the Ravens going to test us to see where our team actually is. I mean, that for us is a test. Playing them in the Bills is pretty much our test to see kind of where we rank in the conference. I mean, we were bad last year, only won 4 games. So I mean, playing teams like them and like the Ravens, and I mean, and I believe what we play, and I think we play the NFC South too. So playing a team like the Bucks, it kind of just lets you know it's kind of like those measure stick games. I mean, for the team is hoping to be better, and that's how you measure yourself, and you'll kind of see where you're at. So. And I mean, the Patriots Raven games over the years have always been really good games. I mean, really, good struggle. So, and and you add, I mean, Vrabel's the coach into the mix. I mean, he's aware of, how like the AFC North plays football. So, it should be pretty interesting.
Definitely should be. Definitely. I mean, hey, look, he got a better quarterback than he ever had playing as a coach. Ryan Tannehill was decent, but he wasn't top tier talent.
Tannehill got the job done for him with what he was trying to get done.
That's why I said decent. You know what I mean? He was able to make a few throws, but ultimately he was a great handoff of the ball. Like, did it a high level.
But yeah, I mean, like Raven wise, yeah, I mean, like to me, the top 3 teams in the conference really ain't changed. I mean, it's the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens. I think those are right now, as of June 20th, June 21st, those are the top 3 teams in the conference. And then there's other teams like the Texans and the Chargers and the Broncos that are trying to come up. And so, I mean, and they want to be considered in that grouping of the top teams in the conference. So they, some of those teams made additions and had good drafts. So it's just, it's going to be on the field. I mean, whether they can kind of close the gap with the top 3 in like the AFC. So
I think it's a few quarterbacks, right, that's going into this season, man. It's kind of like got to get over the hump, right?
I mean, to me, I think I said it in a space or like maybe it was a group chat I was in, but I said in the whole league, to me, there's only 3 quarterbacks that don't got to prove themselves this year. Like I think it's obviously Patrick Mahomes, it's Jalen Hurts, and it's like it's Matthew Stafford. Like those other guys got things to prove. I mean, like, for guys like Josh and Lamar, like they play extremely well in the regular season. I mean, like Lamar got to show that he could win 2 back-to-back playoff games. I mean, Josh Allen got to prove that he could beat the Chiefs in like in a playoff setting. So it's just like there's a lot of guys, a lot of quarterbacks in this league that got a lot to prove. I mean, and you can even go to the younger guys. I mean, like you can even go to, the Justin Fields is trying to prove that he's actually a good quarterback. I mean, to the kid in Houston, his name escaping me right now, but I mean, he's just trying to show that he can, he can still win that division, he can get to the playoffs, and he can try to get to the AFC Championship game. So it's like, I mean, like those are just a few to name. I mean, Justin Herbert got to prove that he can perform better in the playoffs. I mean, Bo Nix got to continue the level of team success that his team had last year. So, and I mean, those are just a few guys that I'm touching on that have stuff to prove, and it's just like it's going to be an interesting season because a lot of QBs got a lot to prove, but everybody can't get to the Super. Like when you're talking about Lamar and Josh, everybody can't get to the Super Bowl. There's only going to be one. So someone's going to be successful. Either someone's going to be successful, someone's going to fail, or I mean, they both going to fail. So just kind of got to see what happens.
Yeah, but I'm gonna be honest with you, JMIK. Most of them quarterbacks on the AFC side that we talk about are in the top 5. Quarterbacks either year to year or for the duration of their career. They all got something to prove except for one. Y'all all are on the clock at this point. Like y'all been in the league almost a decade, and now it's time to show that you can take your team to that place. I feel like there's only so many times you can give excuses, and at some point, it's just got to be. It is what it is.
Well, yeah, because it's like the league don't stay stagnant. Yeah, I get it. Like I mean, like Lamar and Josh in top 5 conversations, they are in the top 5. But you got other guys that's waiting, like waiting in the weeds, like younger guys that have gotten drafted that are starting to accumulate seasons, and I mean, like the thing is like Lamar and Josh, like they're going into their 7th or their 8th season, so it's like time's not slowing down for nobody. So you got to kind of figure stuff out and get to where you're trying to get to, because like Pop said, eventually time gonna run out. That's the way the NFL works. And for like the fans of the Bills and the Ravens, I hate to be the one to tell you this, but like there are always going to be great quarterbacks in generations that don't win. You just don't want to be one of them guys that have a generational quarterback and don't win. I mean, ask the Chargers about that. I don't want to call Phillip Rivers generation. I'm not going to say that. I mean, he was a really good quarterback, but he never won. And you don't want to be holding the bag because you have a really great team and a great quarterback, and you just don't win. So that's just something that you got to be mindful of. Like I said, you got guys like CJ and Bo Nix, Justin Herbert coming behind them. You got even guys like Drake May that's coming behind them. And there's quarterbacks that were just drafted
Herbert
this year.
On my list.
Say what?
Herbert on my list. He's not on the Super Bowl or bust list this year.
I mean, but he on the playoff list that he got to get a playoff win though.
He got to get a playoff win.
Yeah,
but I think it's a guy, man, that nobody spoke on just now. I don't know, certified back with us. I'll let him go first, but it's a guy I'm waiting for somebody to say his name because he on that damn list.
I mean, you ain't talking about Tua, are you?
No, hell no. Certified, you there?
Oh, and I know who you think about.
You tapping in with us today, sir? What's going on? You fell asleep over there? You done hit the pen?
Yeah, but that boy how's it kite right now, man?
He done hit the pen and can't come off mute. That boy don't even know how to come off mute. And, nah, man, it's Dak Prescott, man. You got to be on that list.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Trevor Lawrence.
No, he on the I don't even know what list he on. Like he got a playoff win, but Do we put him on the? We need to see back-to-back playoff wins.
I mean,
do we even trust him to put him on that list even after that?
we need to just see solid quarterback play, man, because like he's like the butt of jokes right now, man.
Dak Prescott, highest paid quarterback in the league, considered to have a top roster, like multiple years where he had a top roster, multiple years of 12-5. Like you done had all the glitz and glamour. It's time to put up or shut up at this point, man.
I guess, but the thing is, people give him a pass for last year because he got hurt, though.
But you always getting hurt.
Yeah, he's missed what?
So at this point, if you get hurt again,
yeah,
you get hurt again. Okay, then we put the injury prone stamp on you.
I mean, because he had like the ankle thing a few years ago where he missed the majority of the season, and then
his leg, where he broke his leg in half.
Yeah.
Then his last season, so you done missed 3 seasons.
Yeah, so I'm saying like people give him a pass for last year because he wasn't healthy, but I'm not saying that he gonna get that pass this year, man. Like he gotta. I mean, he is another guy. Like he got to get to the AFC Championship game at some point. He's never been there. So
you come out this year. Let's say you do make the playoffs and you one and done.
Yeah, that's not a good look.
Come on, bro. Like
that's just not a good
look. I don't agree with what Cam Newton said. You know what I mean? Like, oh, they'll trade you and the assets to go get Arch. But I do believe they'll start financing their way into another quarterback.
Yeah,
but financially they can't get off of that, so that's not financially smart. But I think they will start preparing themselves to move forward.
Yeah, but if Arch comes out not this year but the next year, that's an option. But they just have to be bad enough. They'd have to be close enough to be able to trade up because it's like
not if you trade back with it.
Yeah, but you're gonna find yourself in a situation. If I'm the number 1 team in that draft in 2 years, and I need a quarterback, and Arch is there, why the hell am I gonna trade with you?
Yeah, I ain't moving.
Yeah, I mean, like if I think Arch is gonna be if what is being said about Arch is true, and I'm sitting in that spot, why would I trade away a generational, or I won't say a generation, but like an elite level quarterback?
I think he will have that tag though. I think at some point, once he plays enough games, he will get that tag, man.
Yeah, I mean, he probably will, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, but if that's the case, and I'm that team in the number 1 spot, why am I trading out that pick? And unless I don't think he's that good, and I feel like I could get a generational haul,
right?
But like I said, like that can happen with the Titans this year. I mean, team like the Giants wanted to trade with them. A couple of teams wanted to trade with them, and they was just like, nah, like we're not trading the quarterback. We feel this is the guy. We feel he's really good, and we're not trading out of that. And so that's what I caution fans on when they be talking about, oh, we can always trade up to number 1, but like it's got to
the tango, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a Chicago Bears situation where because at the time with the Bears and the Panthers trade, they already had Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And so at the time, it was okay with Justin. So that's why they traded away the number 1 pick to the Panthers. And they got an absolute haul because they had a quarterback at the time. So that it worked out. And then it really worked out when the next year that the Panthers were so bad that they had the number 1 pick, which went to the Bears. So it worked out where they got off of Justin, went to Caleb. So, but yeah, like that's our caution fans, man. Like you always talk about trading to the number 1 pick. It's kind of like somebody said, like someone got to trade with you. So.
And it ain't always guaranteed somebody want to move off that pick because if that's the guy, I'm not moving.
Yeah. I mean, like, unless your quarterback got hurt the previous year and you feel like he's an elite level guy, then cool. But if that's not the case, I mean, good luck trying to trade up. Because
I need a quarterback. And I'm in the spot to get the quarterback that's considered to be the best quarterback moving. I'm not moving.
But I think that draft is even more tricky because that's the same year where you're going to have 2 marquee wide receivers coming out in that draft too. So that's where it get real tricky. Like, and then you got Jeremiah Smith out of Ohio State, and then you got Ryan Williams out of Bama, and those guys are projected to be top 10 picks. And so if there's a team that you're trying to let's say the number 1 team got a quarterback, and you want to trade up with them, I mean they might want to take Jeremiah Smith or Ryan Williams number 1. Like, I mean, shit. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, to the point you speaking to, JMIK, you can't predict how the season gonna go in regards to who's going to make the top 10. Because I think this year was very interesting. If you look at the top 10, 12 teams, a lot of that is a lot of 4 or 5 win teams when you get to like 10, 11 this year. I don't think it's going to be the same way. And there's a team that could probably be 7 and 8 and could be the number 10 team just based upon how like the year goes. And also a thing with draft prospects, that shit change every year. Cause there's always a top group of guys, right? It could be a wide receiver, cornerback, running back. But then as the season goes, there's a guy that shows up, breaks out, who may have not probably got highlighted a lot, but this is his draft eligible year, and he's going crazy. And so boards shift, players move up and down the mock drafts and stuff like that, and team needs also change throughout the year based upon injuries or any transactions that have been made. So
I
it's
ain't
not
even checked
something
that out.
that you can. It's
Pop
not
just put
something
me
that
on
you
something.
can. Yeah, it's not something you can predict. Is very. I want to say cyclical, but
I
it's
mean that.
very fluid in how it moves year to year.
I mean that's happened to Cam Ward. Like going into the college season, I mean he wasn't projected to be the number 1 overall pick. Like he wasn't. He
Nah,
wasn't in that spot. He won QB1, and he kind of made himself into that.
Yeah,
it
you
was
can even
10
go
teams with
back.
5 or less wins last year.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that don't happen a lot though.
yeah,
It's
that's why I said like this past season was so weird in how the draft board fell. Because if you really look at the teams, there's not many games that separate them from being at the spot that they're in. A lot of that stuff came down to conference wins and stuff like that. But like, and to the point that JMIK just brought up with Cam Ward, I want people to go back to the year Joe Burrow went number 1. He was not the number 1 quarterback that year.
Mm-mm.
that's true too.
The
Yeah.
conversation had been tanked for Tua before the season even started. It was Tua, and I think was Herbert in that draft too?
Yeah. I mean Herbert was in that
Yeah,
draft too.
yeah, it was Tua and Herbert. Those were the highly touted quarterbacks. Like Joe Burrow was there, but he was kind of like at 5, 6 type. But then as the year, like as the games kept getting played, that's when you saw Joe Burrow kind of getting into the top 3. And then it was honestly after the Alabama game, to me, that's when he became like, oh, this guy can actually go number 1.
I mean, but the other thing is, I mean, even if you look at the year before, like Herbert was supposed to come out the year before, and
Mm-hmm.
he chose not to leave. And so you have situations like that too. Like a lot of people think Arch is eligible next year, but it's split like because there are a lot of people that saying that his family wants him to play at least 2 years in college. So that's what I'm saying. Like it's just like you never know. Like with these guys, like you might think they might come out and they might not. And for NFL team, are you really willing to tank and find out the guy stays in? And so now you're pot committed to I mean tanking another year because you want the guy. So
That's what the
you
Giants said they did, though.
say what?
The Giants, that's what they did.
For who though?
They tanked for Herbert, and then they ended up with fucking having to take Daniel Jones.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, that's just like you got to be careful with this tanking business, man. Like that's the thing. Like these are you're betting on
Listen,
the dudes that's
man,
21 and
I ain't
22
tanking
years
for
old.
a dude. I'm not tanking for a dude unless I know 100% he has no eligibility left in the NCAA. You will not bamboozle and floozle me. I done fucking lost fucking 14 games, and you decide you want to take your last year eligibility back. After I done did all this recruiting and shit and scouting and shit, I done sit in all these games to make sure you the right prospect, and you say, you know what? I got another year. I'm gonna go get better. Now I'm stuck in picking Joe Schmo who ain't looked at no tape on, and I'm finna take him. Daniel Jones, bro. I swear I feel like that's what happened, bro.
Nah, like the scenario you talking about where that happened recently was the Colts when they had to draft AR because they won. I think they won a game that took them out of the top 2, and then that dropped them to 4. and then you had the Bears and the Panthers, and this was the C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young draft.
Oh yeah, it was.
And you got look at how that went, because they brought in Jeff Saturday to be the coach. That nigga won a game and they fired the nigga. Like, the
Yeah,
shit was crazy. I don't think it was immediately after the game though. I think he stayed for a little minute. But my point in saying that
I
is,
believe you, Pop. I believe that now. I just thought about it. Like they got stuck with the prospect they never had any increments of taking.
yeah, because you just gotta look at that. They won that game. That they were still in the top five, if I recall, but they were out of position of getting
Yeah, they take
Stroud.
AR at 4.
And hmm yeah, so they were out of position to get Bryce and CJ.
Mm. Imagine one of them boys on that roster though.
yeah. So I mean, yeah, like you just go to the point, like you're really playing a dangerous game. I mean, like I can speak on my team. Like last year, like we had drafted Drake May, but I expect us to be bad because the roster was bad. So, so I don't think I also got to go on the fact that there's a difference between tanking and being bad. Like there's a distinct difference. Like being a bad team is you just don't have the talent to win. So you're not going to win. So you're going to find yourself in the top five because you just don't. You're playing against teams with better talent, and the coaching not good. It's that combination where your team is just bad. Versus tanking is that I mean you have good players on your team. You just don't have a complete team. And I mean, obviously not at the coaching level, but at the organizational front office level, they have chosen not to invest in the team, and they have chosen to not give you enough pieces so that you can lose. So they get the highest draft pick they can get. So I think there's a difference, but yeah, like you just gotta be careful with it. Like, I mean, it could turn out for you good, like the Colts. I mean, I mean, like in the Andrew Luck year where they were tanking for Andrew Luck and it worked out. He left and they got him. But there's also like occasions where you're tanking for a guy and and you just don't get the guy that you was trying to get. So I mean, it's a perilous road. I mean, pretty much.
And you know
For
what? I'm gonna
sure.
stop. They gotta stop
My-
telling coaches they getting fired too until the season over with. Because them coaches be doing some vindictive shit. But they be like, you know what? I got number
Hey,
on our pick, but if I win, we move to 5. I'm winning
but
today.
we can honestly talk about this past draft that just happened. Because if y'all paid attention, it was around, I think it was around week 11 or 12. I started noticing that the teams who was getting number one kept flip flopping. It was like 4 or 5 teams that every week it was switch who got
What are
it,
the
and it
Raiders, the
wasn't
Giants?
into Patriots, Titans. I think Jaguars at one point were the number one overall pick.
Yeah.
It was just jockeying between all these teams. And it wasn't until I want to say the last 3 weeks of the season, that's when a couple of teams kind of won some games that just completely dropped out. And I think it was like a 2 or 3 team race at that point.
The
And
Raiders
then I
chose to go on
forgot
a
who
winning
won.
streak.
Yeah, I forgot who won, but that's how the Titans were able to secure the number one spot.
Patriots.
Patriots, yeah,
Patriots.
that was
Oh
it.
yeah, I forgot what game y'all had won, and
It,
then
it was
that's
the
when
Bills game, the last game of the season. But I mean, the Bills gave us that game. Like they weren't trying to win that
yeah, they did,
Yeah, they locked
definitely
them in.
did.
They
game. Yeah,
locked them
pretty much.
in.
Yeah. I will.
But nah, the craziest team to me was the Raiders, bro. Why would you go on a winning streak at that point of the
I mean,
season?
the
You
Giants,
know, but
the Giants were pretty bad too. I mean, like they were playing at home against Seattle, and they smoked Seattle that game. I was,
they wasn't
Yeah.
it was the Colts who blew the Giants out, if
oh
I'm
yeah,
correct.
yeah, but I think the Colts
That was
lost.
when Drew Lock was still was the quarterback.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
And then I forgot who the quarterback Colts was in that game, but they fucking blew them niggas
Joe.
out.
It was Joe
Joe, yeah, they put
Flacco.
yeah. I think they
Mm-hmm.
put what 40, 45 on him.
yeah, I think that was the game. Actually, I was damn near shocked, like watching. I'm like, do they not understand that they're trying to get the number one pick?
But this what I don't understand, right? And y'all help me with this shit. Everybody is like, oh, Daniel Jones gonna go over there and they gonna be so much better. I'm like, bro, Daniel Jones ain't like, what do y'all remember about this man?
He not, but you got to look at the team. Like, so the Giants team, their offensive line wasn't really that good when he was there.
Right?
And the Colts to me got a better, like the Colts offensive situation is better than the Giants was. They have weapons. They got a really good running back. Not to say the Giants didn't. They had Saquon at the time. They got a better offensive line. They got better receivers. So the situation to me, in the like the Colts defense got the talent, and they just hired the old Bengals, DC. So I just think the situation is better. But I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like unless AR is hurt, I don't see how AR. And I get what people saying that Daniel Jones looked better so far in mini camps, but I just think the fact that they invested a top 5 pick in AR, I just think they're gonna, they're gonna give him a chance to start and see what he can do first.
I agree with what you just said, JMIK, because I sparked the conversation about Daniel Jones potentially being the starter, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't care how good Daniel Jones is performing better in training camp, or probably if he plays in the preseason games. I don't care. AR is still gonna be the starter until he loses the job by his play.
Yeah.
Until they have to. That's the only way I see Daniel Jones getting in there.
Yeah, I mean, I
Unless you
just think
got that high draft capital into him.
Yeah, and it's just like you got to figure out, because this is his 3rd year. Next year will be his 4th year, and then like now you're talking 5th-year options and stuff, and all this kind of stuff. So I just think they got to at least throw him in the mix and kind of see what he can do. If he get hurt, then Daniel Jones gonna come in and he might not get the job back after that. But
all right, going into the season of AR, is it wins or is it statistical?
I think it's both. I think they got to win and he got to play well.
So he need what, 9 wins?
I mean, didn't they have like 7, 8 wins last year without him?
Yeah.
I mean,
so 9 or better.
Yeah, like I don't think you can go below the 7 to 8 wins threshold. Like I think they got to be around the same, if not better. And then he also got to be a difference maker. I mean, he got to be. I ain't saying he got to be the reason why they win all 9 of the 10 games that they win, but he got to be a difference maker in some of these games. Like he just can't be on the bandwagon while the team is carrying them to these wins.
Nah, because I was looking at it in my head, just like when Pop made her statement, just like, until he lose the job, and I'm like, so is losing the job performance based, or is it a situation where you just losing too many games and they like, hey, we gotta pull them?
I think it's both, because if you look at the Colts situation, they have been in the mix in that division. Yeah, they've been in the mix, and it's just a couple of games that have gone not the way that they should have gone for them to kind of not be able to compete to be the division winner.
So, if he performing like Justin Fields for the Steelers, is that results of getting benched like that type of situation?
It depends on how far in the season we are, though.
I'm saying like the 6-game stretch, you 4-2, but your offense looks stagnant. You're not scoring points.
I'll keep him if we're winning games. But say we go on a 3-game losing streak, and most of that is based upon his performance. And I'm looking at the rest of my schedule, and I'm seeing like, hey, we still in the mix of this. Maybe let's make a change. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm
asking because I'm looking at it just like, how are they looking at it? Because I know Shane Steichen on the hot seat, bro. Like, let's be real.
Well,
it's not only that, you also got new ownership. Like, I mean, it's still within the family. It's still the family that has it, but it's still new ownership. They might have a different direction they want to see the team to go. Then that's the current plan.
And you also don't know how different. Yeah, like those are his daughters, but you don't. Personality wise, they don't just. I mean, that's just because that's their father don't mean they got the same personality. Like it could be different. Like
exactly.
They could be impatient with. They could be like, we've had you as the coach, and we've had Ball as GM for a while, and we're looking for results. At least get to the playoffs. And I mean, if that don't happen, they might be just like, we just choose to go into a different direction because, it's their family, but they could want to go in a completely new direction, like for the team. So they both the GM and the coach kind of on the hot seat, and I mean, AR was the guy that they both wanted. So a lot of the times when you draft a guy in the top 5 and it don't work, a lot of times the GM and the coach get fired for that.
So that's why I asked, was it performance based, win based? You know what I mean? Because like, if he performing, let's not say great or well, but he performing where like he keeping his team afloat, he not killing them, and they winning a few games, then I see him staying. But like, What if he playing well but they losing?
You know, I mean that'd be an interesting case. I mean, if he plays well, then what that means is that he's developed. And I mean, like if he plays well, that means he's didn't get hurt, stayed on the field.
But that's why I was saying, well, like Jamie, that's why I brought up Justin Fields like last year. Like he was playing well, but they weren't necessarily winning because he was playing well. You know what I mean?
He wasn't. Justin Fields was doing what he was asked to do, nothing more, nothing less. And I think the switch they made to Russ is that you trust him to throw the ball down the field. Like you trust him to do that because that's what his bread and butter is that deep ball, that moon ball that people talk about, right? Like, so you can trust him to do that. I don't think I don't think the team had that same confidence as Justin Fields as they did Russ. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't think they liked Russ near the latter part of the season, but you didn't want to go back to Justin Fields because you just still felt like Russ can still give you what you need to compete to make a playoff push.
Russ became stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just never really. I mean, once Russ left Seattle, man, I was kind of. I mean, I was kind of out on him, anyways.
Like he got like a. I hate it. I don't even want to compare him to that man, but he got like at this point, it feels like he got like a Ryan Fitzpatrick magic moments. Like he lasts for a few weeks, it looked good, and then once they pick up, like, hey, this is all he doing. They like, all right, well now it just look like you an old ass man out here playing football. Like,
You know,
don't look as good as it looked 2 weeks ago.
That's kind of what he is, isn't it?
Yeah, he is that. He's old.
He's an old nigga playing football at this point. Man.
That shit, but like, and it go quick too. Like last year, it felt like he had like 4 or 5 weeks where you was like, hey, he done brought this team to life, and then all of a sudden it was just like he kind of look buns.
I mean, and I think once I seen him with the Broncos, I just thought he was washed up at that point. Like I just think it's just like I don't say washed up, but it's just like he's an older quarterback. You got to have a team around him for him to be good, and him playing for the Giants, like I don't see that being a success, to be honest. Like I see that shit crashing and burning.
But I think he just the bridge though. I don't think at this point I don't think they're looking for him to play.
I mean, he's definitely the bridge. I mean, that's without question.
My question is, how many weeks is Russ gonna play before you say, all right, let's see what the young guy got?
I mean, I don't think no earlier than week 5 or 6. I mean,
I know they also got Jameis too, so I'm looking at that too.
I mean, I think you gotta look at their schedule, man. They first 8 games is rough. I would not want to put the rookie in for them first 8 games. I kind of view like I viewed the Patriots last year with like Drake May and Jacoby Brissett, because our first month to month and a half was hard. So I mean, most of the Patriot fan base was like, let him take the punishment, and then after that stretch is over, then you bring in Drake May, and then you got just try to have them develop. And I think that might be the same situation for the Giants, where like their first 7-8 games are so tough that you might just let Russ, and then if Russ gets hurt, then you let Jameis in there and kind of have them deal with that rough stretch, and then after that and then you can bring in the kid after that.
Yeah, I agree because I don't think it's till after week 10. You look at their schedule where it's like, okay, I feel a little bit more comfortable of having Dart in now. But yeah, I don't expect Dart to start, honestly. I feel like if the Giants feel like they can get away with not playing him for at least 12 weeks, I think they'll do it. Because you just want to protect your asset.
Right.
And you don't want to ruin it. Like that's the one thing you don't want to do. A kid that's playing a team that only won 4 games last year is like you don't want him going in there and you just ruin him because you can't protect him. He start getting the worst thing for any young or any quarterback in general is to get gunshot. Like from getting hit so much. So you're just trying to get through the tough part of the schedule and just give him like an easy landing spot where he can start to play, because he's going to play at some point this season. Like I don't. Like unless Russ has this incredible, crazy season where he plays extremely well, like I think Jackson Dart is going to get in the game at some point.
No, I think like what y'all saying, like just think about it, like waiting to week 12 is kind of beneficial, right? Because you get to figure out what your team does well. So when you throw the rookie in, you know what they execute well, right? You know what the offensive line does well. You know what the running backs do well. You know what the receivers do well. Now you're just asking your young quarterback to get acquainted and get, act like to just get acquainted with the team, and he can benefit off of what he sees on tape every week because he's been watching for 12 weeks. You've been pointing out what they do well. You've been pointing out this and that. So he gets in the game, he gets to see it from perspective is already laid out. Going into week 1, you don't know your team that well most of the time. Like you know some things. Obviously, you scouted, so you know this and that, but you don't know how that shit gonna gel. So I mean, I like him not having to play through a gauntlet of teams, and you get Jameis, you get Russ, they get the brunt of the bullshit. And if one of them catch fire, then you can keep it rolling. But if not, then somewhere around like Pop said, week 12, week 10, week 12, you throw him in, and then he gets 5 to 7 games to really learn. He ain't got to make no playoff push then like he under no pressure and shit.
Yeah, I mean, because I just think like for Jackson Dart, when he gets in there, you just want him trying to manage the game at first. I mean, you don't want the kid trying to do too much, because if you watch Jackson Dart in college, when he tries to do too much, that's when he has problems. So I just think you want to ease him in there. So, but yeah, I mean, like, we're gonna see.
Yeah, it's an interesting path because I think they're in the same situation as the Colts. Like, I think they both on the hot seat too. I know they just drafted a quarterback, but I think he wants to see an improvement in wins. And winning what they won, what 3 or 4 games last year, I don't think that's gonna cut it. They need to be in that 5 to 7 win category this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not going to cut it, but then it's just like, I think that situation is different than the Colts slightly, because the Colts drafted their guy and he'd been the guy for like the last, this is going to his 3rd season, versus this is the first Giants quarterback that they would have drafted because Daniel Jones was there before Daboll got there. So that wasn't really his guy. He was working what they had. So this is Jackson Dart is his guy. They traded back in the 1st round to get Jackson Dart.
But JMIK, you got to think Daboll need an extension. You think you extend him if he go 3 wins again, even though you just drafted a quarterback?
No, but I don't think the Giants are going 3 wins again though. Like I think
I'm just saying, like, that's why I say you got to be in that 5 to 7 to get that extension.
I mean, to me, like the baseline for them is like for the Giants is the baseline is 6. I think they can get 6, 7 wins. Like that's kind of where I have them.
Yeah.
Because like that defense should be, and I get it's a lot of the same pieces. I mean, like they added a couple guys in the draft, but to me, it's not on the talent. It's the coach. It's the DC. Like the DC had a good amount of talent. He couldn't do nothing with it last year. He got to figure out a way to really use the talent that he has, and I mean to put that defense in good situations to be successful. I think that's more the key, because I had a lot of people talking about, oh, well, their front 7 is going to be this and is going to be that. But if that DC don't change the way he called games, I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to be as bad as last year, but it's not going to be what people expect.
Yeah, I get it. I'm just looking at it from, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they ball looking for an extension. Like, when do you just be like, to me, if you want to play the cards in a different perspective, right? You play the rookie the whole season, and then you say, well, look at the results we got. If he win 5 games as a rookie, you're like, well, look, we improved and we put the rookie in. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe then you get the extension. I don't know how the owner looking at it, because his last words the last time we seen him was, I hope this process doesn't take too long because I'm getting tired. So it's like, how hot is the seat? I don't know.
I mean, the thing is, like, I'm laughing, but it's not a joking matter for them, though.
Nah, because it's a situation where you brought in Daboll, right, under the impression that what he did for Josh Allen, he would be able to replicate for Daniel Jones. That shit don't work. Daniel Jones is out. So then you stuck with, you know what I mean, a bunch of bad seasons in their tenure so far since they've been there. Then the guy you wanted back ends up out of the door in Saquon. So now you're looking at the situation where you just drafted Jackson Dart, you got Malik Neighbors, you got a decent defensive line. Right? I mean, results got to be had at some point, but where it's hard to even like we were looking at their roster lot, we were looking at their schedule last night, JMIK, and it was like
I
tough
mean,
because it's like
yeah, I mean, week 0 through 8 is like hell, man.
do you expect 7 games? Do you expect 5 games? And then I mean, expectations is all front office, like you said earlier. Like, where are they at? Are they done? I mean, are they close to finish? Like, do they expect playoff wins? Do they expect playoff berth? Like, it's a few teams. Like, when you look at it, like they in a situation where like they've been kind of on the bottom, but we all believe they should improve. And then I think it's only a few teams that get a pass for being complete butt this year, if they are.
Yeah, I mean, like I mean, you could even put the Jets in that same like I get it, like they're trying to build a new system, but if they was to only win 2 games, like you don't think they'd be calling for Aaron Glenn's job at the end of the season?
Probably
Like
so.
But
I'm just being real about it. Like if
nah,
he,
nah, Jimmy,
Like,
you speaking some truth, but that's
I ain't said he's gonna fire him. I said he's gonna call
nah,
for a job.
nah,
yeah,
but that's gonna be the rumor because you think that clearing out a front office, bringing in all this new personnel with a coach that is respected, like
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn, I feel like is respected in the league, and y'all have added pieces to that team. But my thing is, y'all gotta give it a chance to work, man. Cause what if Justin Fields don't happen to work out? Like that's a possibility. What if that offensive line you've added pieces to it and I feel has improved? What if that is not working all the way together? It's like I
Yeah.
feel like I feel like the timeline for teams that are rebuilding is shortened, and I think it's kind of unfair to the new regime because they're not really giving the time to make the shit work.
Well, I mean, you could
It's
blame.
right. 'Cause
very
I agree with Pop. Like,
shortened.
I
Well, I
hate when
mean,
the front
you could
office
blame.
tie their shoes together, and now the coach who didn't draft the quarterback, the GM went out and got this quarterback. Now my legacy and my job security is tied to this quarterback. If he doesn't succeed, then I'm fired. But I didn't pick him.
I mean, but you could blame for that though. I mean, you could blame the Commanders for that because what they did coming off a 4-win season, and I mean, I get it. Like you look at the context of it, like, but a lot of front offices, a lot of fans don't look at the context of it. Like they just look at the Commanders went from a 4-win team to a 12-win team just
I
by
don't
drafting
even
a
think
quarterback.
it's I don't even think it's the Commanders because this is something that's been going on for a little minute though. Because
I
it
mean,
like
I think the Commanders situation didn't help though.
Yeah,
I
Commanders.
agree.
Commanders sped up a few teams'
I
timeline.
I do agree with that. I do agree with that because that was a team I feel everybody can admit exceeded expectations.
Yeah,
Facts.
yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, I don't think anybody. I mean, maybe outside of some fans of the Commanders felt like they can actually make a playoff push. I think a lot of us was like, man, y'all could probably make some noise. Y'all might
They didn't
slide
even
to a
think they can make a
wild
playoff
card.
push. If you really want to be honest,
No, no,
they
that's
was
not
happy
true.
with like a lot of them was 7 and 9 wins. Anything extra was,
Mm, nah,
and
I
then
ain't
once
gonna
they
lie.
started winning,
I heard
once they started
plenty
winning, they
of
started playoffs.
10. I heard plenty of 10 to 12 wins from that fan base. Plenty of it. So there were some fans that felt like they could make the playoffs, and contend in the division. So I'm not gonna say like majority of the fans didn't feel like that because to me that's not true. I think it was half and half. I think it was split down the middle of fans who thought they can make the playoffs because they got JD5 now, and other fans that just felt like they just wanted to see the team win at least 8 games.
Yeah, but going
Right?
into the previous season with Sam Howell, like fans were saying he was going to win 10 games with
Yeah,
freaking
that's what I'm
Sam Howell.
saying. But that also go like now we're just talking about fans, and we all know like fan culture is there is no rationale that a lot of times plays a part in some takes that get made, but back to the topic, I do agree with JMIK that the Commanders' timeline has sped up some teams. But to me, I just feel like teams need to just take an individual analysis of what they have and just maybe be patient. Just be patient because your situation may not work out like the Commander situation did. I think you just had the right mix of coaches and players on that team for it to be as explosive as it was.
I mean, I definitely agree with you, but it's just like
I can't leave
that's
though.
yeah, that's just going to be the problem. Is like they see a team when you don't use content, you see a team like the Commanders went from 4 wins, draft the quarterback second overall, and they went all the way up to 12 wins. I'm not saying that teams are going to expect to do the same thing, go from 4 to 12 wins, but like teams and fans are going to be like, it's not impossible to completely do a flip flop from a really bad team to a really good team. And
I don't even think it just affected quarterbacks drafted, Mick. I think it affects quarterbacks that's already been drafted. Where okay, look, we drafted you top 5, we drafted you top 10. We haven't seen the results. Look at what the Commanders did. We need results this year.
I agree. I mean, that's the danger when you have a team like that has that kind of success. I don't want to say it's danger, but it's just like those are the kind of things that could happen. And I mean,
Especially
now
a team that feel like they got a roster and the quarterback is the only thing underperforming at this point. We need to see performance. And I think like some ownership obviously ain't gonna move in that manner. They obviously still gonna have faith in their quarterback. But there's some teams out there, bro. I know, like in this offseason, they looking at it as okay. Look, if he don't perform, he out. If
I
he don't
kind of feel
perform, the
like,
coach out.
yeah, I mean, I don't think that the Patriots are going to fire anybody, but I think our expectations are higher than it obviously was last year. Like,
Yeah,
and then I've got some of my fan base talking about we definitely win in 10 games. But I mean,
yeah.
Vrabel's not going to get fired if that doesn't happen. But I'm just saying, like, that's a cause and effect of the Commander season last year, and it's not a bad thing from a fan perspective that you have expectations for your team, and you've seen another team go from 4 to 12, and you're like, well, we won 4 games, we added a lot of pieces, did a lot of free agency in the draft. So I'm expecting us to go from 4 to 8. I mean, I think that's reasonable. Like, I don't think there's an issue with that. But I think it's also good for the NFL because it goes to show you that you don't got to give these players and coaches and front offices 4 or 5 years to turn around a program like that. That's not you do not. It doesn't take that long. If you make the right moves, it should be a lot quicker than 4 to 5 years.
I agree, and I also think it goes into the experience of the quarterback and what you're getting. Because I'm assuming that you have gotten your franchise guy now, like whatever guy that you had was not working, so you have your franchise player. And I also think it's the type of quality of quarterback that you get. Like if you look at not this past class, but the JD5, Drake May, Caleb, that class. I think that was the most experienced class of quarterbacks that we had gotten in a minute. A lot of those guys were 4-year, 5-year starters, and I don't think we've seen that consistently across the board. And you saw what they were able to do in with their respective teams. So I do agree. Like you can turn it around, but I also think it depends on the type of talent at quarterback that can also help push that team forward.
Certified. You came off mute, so I don't know if you was finna say
Oh
something.
yeah, I want to. We can't fit like
You finally
we
woke
talked
up. How
about
was
the.
your nap? How was your nap?
Oh man, I wish I could take a nap. I'm about to though. But listen, man, we was talking about the different type of commanders. We forgot one. We forgot the let's build around Haneke crew. It was a large amount of them as well. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
don't be misled. Everybody wasn't pro Jaden. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody is now, but it was a lot of chitter chatter over there with the commandos. But listen, man, hey, I hope that they can build on that because I've seen a lot of flashes in the pan. So
My
September's
biggest
coming.
issue is like, okay, yeah, you won 12 games, right? So what if what if the expectations is obviously high, right? But they go back to where they should be as far as win total, and they win 9 games.
I think they're gonna be disappointed.
Listen, brother,
Yeah,
you always gotta
naturally.
have
That's why I said
expectations when you have a top
they
five
got to
quarterback. You
don't
know,
be a
them the
delusional
rules.
fan, bro.
When you have a top,
This
no, no, no,
nigga
no, no.
shirt is
When you have a top five quarterback,
nasty.
you are within your window.
Sir,
If you have a top five quarterback, you always have a window. These were the rules that were explained to me. So, according to the rules, they are a contender. They are in their window because they do, in fact, have a legit, bona fide top five quarterback.
Okay,
So,
so my
let's
question.
not, you know,
My,
diminish their expectations.
okay, so with you saying that, this makes me think of another team that has a top five quarterback. Is the Bengals Super Bowl window closed?
Oh, listen. When you have a top five quarterback, your window is always open. You are always a contender because you have a top five quarterback. Those are the rules that
But
we must adhere to.
I
Okay?
watched
I
that
don't make the
top
rules.
five quarterback not be able to carry a
Eh,
team who had a very
li-
poor defense.
Listen, I don't make the rules, lady.
All right,
Okay?
my fault. My
Them the
fault.
rules.
My fault.
Them the rules. That's how it was explained to me. So I am going to adhere to the rules. Because I am a rule follower.
you sure
Okay.
about that?
Yes, sir. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Check my jacket.
Woo, that woo. Uh,
Yeah.
is it
You
the new
know.
jacket or the old jacket? Should I check?
Yeah. Hey, man. It's the one that fit.
I mean, is that the spring jacket or the fall jacket?
I mean, it's tweed, dog. So I don't know. What is that?
Is this the week 11 jacket? Because if I check that jacket, I'm pretty sure it's
Listen,
not blue.
before people start tap dancing, I want to know what the rules are so that there's no loopholes. We've been doing this for a really long time. What's this? Our fifth? This would be our fifth year of spaces. Okay, so there should be no flip flopping. Okay, we all should have an understanding of what the requirements are. So when yours does not, excel in those moments, save your excuses. Okay.
Oh, no. I mean, personally, I don't want to hear no excuses from nobody.
Yeah.
I'm
Especially from the top five quarterbacks.
no,
I
I
don't want to
know.
hear about your team. I don't want to hear about your offensive line. I don't want to hear about what your defense does in the playoffs. I don't want to hear about any of that, and I don't want to hear no more Mahomes and Montana talk. Cut that shit out. I just want to throw that out there before I end.
What happens
Okay.
if you're a top five quarterback, but you throw more interceptions in the playoffs than you did in the regular season? Should we have conversations about you, like we have conversations about everybody else, or should we just
I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna have to go and ask the rule board what the rules are on that because I don't know.
okay, just asking? 'Cause
Yeah, yeah. I'll be sure to get an answer though.
there was a guy, who did that. And, the slander on his name was, considered to be egregious because of who his
I
targets was. But I didn't know targets caused you to throw interceptions. But never
I I I know a guy
No,
that
that's
beat
not for me.
Jimmy Garoppolo, Jalen Hurts, and Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl, and they call him the greatest of all times.
mind. Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know if he's the greatest of all time, but he has a nice resume. Though.
Hey, I know.
He has a nice resume. He got along. He got a lot of football to play though.
Yeah. Listen, Brock Purdy isn't top 10, but in that game, the quarterback that he played against needed overtime to see a lead. Like every time that other quarterback left the field, his team either had less points or equal points, not more points. But he's a GOAT, you know.
Hey man, it's never mind. Never mind. I ain't gonna even do it, JMIK. You know I was finna go. I ain't gonna even do it. I ain't gonna even do it.
Oh,
Bro.
you want to talk about the
I ain't
two
gonna even do it.
embarrassments that's in the top five? Both of his losses are in the top five worst performances, worst embarrassing losses, team losses. Both of his are in the top five. You want to talk about that? Go ahead, brother. I can't talk about it because
Oh, because you didn't beat him. That's what they be
my
saying.
7 round quarterback couldn't beat the GOAT. So go ahead. You got the floor. I
It's a
thank you.
lot.
You can
Hey, sir.
you can
It's a lot
give
of
more
people.
input on stripping a goat naked on the biggest stage.
We just gotta stop. We just gotta stop clowning these dudes, man. I mean, shit. Dude had 3 Super Bowl rings, and
I mean,
we want to say we better than.
technically, JMIK can talk too because his goat did it on another team, but his goat
Nah,
stripped
he
him
beat him
naked.
on the Patriots.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was talking about the Super Bowl, but yeah, he did,
Oh,
in that, marvelous playoff
Yeah,
run.
it's in
what the
fact, you said
the
never
title
beat
game?
them in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
it was AFC title game. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
it
shut
was,
that shit down.
and that shit
Yeah,
was in KC too.
but
Oh,
he's a goat nonetheless.
hmm.
My bad, my bad. What was we talking about? The Commanders? I'm sorry.
No,
Oh,
I mean
we was
it
just
wasn't solely positioned on the Commanders, but we were just saying
no.
like
It was
what the
more
Commanders
like
did.
commanders have moved people's windows.
Eh,
Yeah,
don't relay no messages to me. I don't understand fourth floor, so I would have to get a translator. I don't understand. I haven't spoken fourth floor jargon since like middle school, so I don't. I'm sorry. Save it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's a lot of teams. Expectations will not be exceeded. It's just not gonna happen. But I love the
yeah, I
summer
agree.
though. Like NFL summer is the greatest. You get a lot of 3-win teams that turn into 13-win teams, and then certified rule number 337. Show up at week 11 and show me what your record look like. So you show up week 11 and you 3-7, and you telling me how it was just some bad football and you finna miss the playoffs. Then we have a different conversation. But in the off season, everybody's a 10-win team. Everybody. I heard the Tennessee Titan fan tell me he going to the playoffs and he winning the division. I said, okay, good brother, you got it, you got it,
Man,
I
I think the Titans are like 2 years away, man.
you got it.
I just want to prepare everybody. Bengals excuses are coming. Prepare
Oh,
yourself.
if they win it, if they miss a third year in a row, oh my god.
No,
Whew.
because they have a. I was just told because they got a top five
Mm-mm-mm.
quarterback, right? And then they address their defensive needs. Though you do have two disgruntled players
Hold
also
on,
on that
Pop. You talking
defense.
too fast. Hold on. I'm trying to write
But
these excuses down. Hold on.
like no, but I mean they addressed their defense, right?
Address the defense.
You
Okay.
addressed the defense. You added pieces through the
Added
draft.
pieces.
Y'all let Lou go and y'all brought in the nigga that was the Notre Dame
Lou
co
is gone.
DC. I don't remember his name, but y'all brought him in, right? And y'all feel like because the young guys for your team started playing better at the latter part of the season when they started getting more playing time, your defense will be enough for you to win 10 to 12 games and make another playoff run. Um, because you did have a top two quarterback, if you want to look at Joe Burrow's stats. You had a triple crown wide receiver, T. Higgins. He showed up in the latter part of the year. Y'all fixed your offensive line. Y'all got a crop of running backs y'all feel secure in. Like, it's a good team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just at the stage of the NFL season or going into the season. Like, I'm just not trying to hear no excuses from nobody. Like, I'm sorry. Like, from the Ravens to the Bengals to any other team, I'm just not trying to hear your excuses. Like, if y'all don't win, then y'all don't win. Like, don't like save me my time with y'all excuses.
Man, listen. I heard the excuses built in already, man. You know what I mean? I listen to them every day when they come up and make these claims of what happened. I'm like, oh, I see the excuse. the young guys with inexperience because Lou and Arumo didn't play them, so they had a down season this year. You know what I mean? But they're gelling, they're learning, they're expanding with the new DC. You know what I mean? Oh, the offense. You know what I mean? They going I don't think it's gonna be a problem with the offense though. Like that's truthfully to be honest. Like I know you're gonna put up points and put up yards and all that, but if you still have a missed a playoff season, like can you evaluate that you're just not doing something right?
But I mean, so here's my thing: like, what happens with the new DC and Al Golden? What happens if he plays the young guys and them niggas is ass? Like, what happens then? I mean, then it would have been like, well, Lou was right. Lou was right not to play those guys. Because I mean, like, I've heard the same talk of, oh yeah, I mean, Lou.
J-Man, that's what I'm telling you. That's the excuse that's built in. If they don't play well, it's because they didn't get to play when Lou was here, so they got to learn now. They got to slow the game down.
No.
That's a good question. I want to know, when is the Bengals GM going to be held accountable for what's going on with that team?
Who is their GM? Because you never hear his name.
Do they not have one?
No, I mean they definitely have one. It's just his name never gets talked about, like, ever.
You want to know why his name don't get talked about?
Yeah, sure.
Because the Bengals beat the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game in 2021. Okay? All right? You clearly don't know ball. You're a casual. All right? The Bengals beat the Chiefs 4 years ago.
No, you don't hear about it. They don't have a GM.
Go to the Super Bowl and lose to the Rams.
No, real talk. They don't have a GM.
Okay. How's the structure of the organization?
They don't have somebody that holds the role GM. They have a dude named Duke Tobin, but he's not considered an official GM though.
Yeah, he's the director of player. I just looked it up. He's the director of player personnel.
Yeah, so they don't have a GM.
They don't have a GM, which means
I mean, like, that
has to be a collective effort that's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like that was some of the when Bill Belichick was the coach. Like, we never named a GM, but we had a director of player personnel. But like, they don't have a coach like Bill, so I don't know. I mean, that's interesting. Who's actually making the power moves inside that front office? So
I just wanted to fast track the conversation because that's where the conversation will always end with the Bengals fan, that they beat the Chiefs in 2021. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get to the end of the conversation.
Yeah, but I think if they don't make the playoffs, I think Zach Taylor's gone though. I don't. You fired the DC last year. You brought in another DC, and I just think if they don't make the playoffs for the third year in a row, I think they have to fire him. I don't think they have a choice.
Man, they don't fire coaches.
He might have to go with the kind of talent that they're paying on offense, and they don't make the playoffs.
They let that one terrorist stay for years.
I have a question for y'all. Do y'all feel like that Bengals Super Bowl run saved Zach Taylor's job?
Oh yeah. I mean, I definitely think it did. Not even just that run, but the very next year when they made a run to the
AFC title game.
Yeah, championship game again.
I was going to say the 2-year stretch is what saved his job.
Yeah. But there's only so much saving you could do when you don't make the playoffs 3 years in a row. I mean, the coach that they held on forever, he was still making the playoffs though. Not like they weren't making it; they just couldn't win in the playoffs.
Yeah, but if he, I mean, I just, the only thing that killed me, Mick, like that made me think like he won't get fired, if he put up the same offensive production as last year or more, and they still miss the playoffs. I mean, they're gonna still not blame Zach. They're gonna blame another DC. But guess what? The DC that you keep bringing in, you keep blaming the DCs, but you're not giving them requisite pieces to perform on the highest level called the NFL. You know what I mean?
That's not true. That's not true because they did give them pieces. They just didn't pay them.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I'm saying now. I'm saying like the dude you just brought in for Lou. You didn't give. He doesn't have a decent defense to work with. He working with the pieces of the last man who said it didn't work. So now you expect him to come in and make it work?
Well, I think they're hoping that he makes it work better than what was going on last year.
But when we all sit here as a unit, like looking at their roster defensively, we like, shit.
To me, I didn't go hold you. I didn't even know the Bengals defensive roster that deeply. It's just I was watching the games and I said, this is not working.
But
That's
yeah, like
definitely
it's just
true.
like I don't know. Like, what do you expect? What do you expect this dude coming from college with what he got? Like, what if
I
it
mean,
don't work?
that guy to turn water into wine, man. I mean, like, what you talking about, man?
So what if he turns? I mean, what if he doesn't? Like, what happened?
I mean, somebody got to go. I mean, and Joe Burrow and Chase and Higgins, they ain't going nowhere. So
I think everybody got a 2-year window. When Higgins got that out, if y'all ain't got it together, y'all all gonna leave. y'all all be out of here together, and we'll keep chasing Burrow, and we'll bring in some new pieces and figure it out.
yeah, and then I think the owner got talented if they're making the playoffs, but I just think with all the money he's paying, like to me, they got to make the playoffs at the minimum. Like I don't think there's anywhere around that.
And I'm looking at a situation is what if they lose Trey? What happens then? Like, what are you asking this DC to really do if you lose your best player? Like,
I mean,
you haven't signed a rookie. Like, it's just getting nasty over there for them.
I mean, I don't think they could pay Trey anyways. So I don't know what the talk is. I mean,
oh man,
because I mean, from what I've heard from Bengal fans, that this is true. They're saying it's not even the money. Like he wants a longer term deal. Like he don't want a 2-year deal. He wants like a 4-year deal. And if that's the truth, I mean, but that obviously comes when you make a longer deal. It means it's more money.
Yeah.
So
I've heard people say they don't have cash. They got liquid, but they don't got cash.
I mean, you better find a way to tell them to get some cash then.
Cause that shit got to go in escrow, and if you don't put it in escrow, can't give a guarantee. That's nasty.
So,
I don't know where they at with that situation, but they better figure it out fast.
I mean, I think
I don't think it's gonna be figured out no time soon. I'm gonna be honest. I think it's gonna be a minute before anything really happens with Trey.
and
I think they reopened the phones. They back on the phone again, right?
Yeah, I read that this week, but they're talking again. But
Yeah,
I mean,
but if you ain't got money, shit, what does it matter to pick up the phone again? Did you find some new cash that you didn't have before?
Yeah,
At this point, hey, listen, JMIK. At this point, I'm in there trying to restructure and everything to keep Trey on that damn roster.
I mean, better figure something out.
I don't know. I don't know what you look like without him. Like he's half the reason you even was decent defensively last year. Like his pressure rate, his sack rate, like that kept y'all in a lot of games. But when he wasn't performing, those games that he wasn't performing, y'all got beat over the head pretty decent.
And they've gotten past the point where they can trade him too. Like, so if you trade him, you're just getting assets for next year, unless you trade him for a player. Like, but
I think that's what when Hutch and the other guy was up there was like basically like that's kind of where the Bengals at. Like if they trade him, it has to be a starting asset that they trade him for plus the draft capital. But I'm like, what team right now is trading a starting player at any position that they don't want on their damn roster?
Yeah. I mean, and the draft capital, knowing that I got to pay this guy because he don't.
And I got to pay him. Yeah, and I got to pay him.
Hey man, y'all like Reynolds? The Eagles like Reynolds. Y'all in y'all window.
Nah, but
and
like
y'all
Reynolds,
not worried about giving up draft picks.
Yeah, but we like smart Reynolds though.
I mean, 17 and a half, 2 years in a row.
Yeah, but he want a new contract, so we're not gonna take a disgruntled player. We just dealt that to the Jets last year. Hassan Reddick, we was like, hey, you know what? You disgruntled. We offered you a contract. Go be somebody else's problem. Now, somehow we can figure out if Trey want to take a 1 year or 2 year deal where he getting paid somewhere decently.
I'm just saying. That's an Eagles move right there.
I don't know. I seen it at one point. Like I did obviously think we would, but when I heard they wanted a player, I don't see anybody on our defense we willing to give up at starting caliber.
I mean, well, that's the fans talking. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but
I mean,
hey, listen, I don't know who some of them tapped in with, but a couple of them been, you know what I mean? I'll trust your word when you telling me the right thing. So
I'm pretty sure they was trying to trade him, and people was like, "No, we gonna hold off because man, you got to do something. You got to either shit or get off the pot." You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's under contract. You know,
Who, Trey?
so
I mean,
like
he's
he on
talking
his
like
Trey under
franchise, right?
contract. Nah, he
I
contract.
thought he was on a franchise. Oh, okay.
nah, he's in the last year of his deal.
Hmm. Well,
And he got guaranteed money. It ain't even like he ain't even got guaranteed money.
well,
He the last year to guaranteed money. So you obviously
niggas will figure out how to fuck it up. They always do. That's
I
what they
think they
do.
I think on both sides of that track, I think both of them willing to do the same shit. And that's what's going who gonna fold first gonna matter.
Yeah.
I think they willing to be I think they willing to be stubborn enough to let him hold out, and I think he willing enough to be stubborn enough to hold out. And I think if he do come back, it'll be something like where he can still count this year as a playable year. I mean, I think that's what week 8, week 7, week
Oh, he
8,
gonna
something
put
like
a
that.
Hassan Reddick on him?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I ain't mad at it.
I think so. But I
Shit,
think
fuck it.
they fold first though. I think they fold first. I think when that defense looking real bad, if he
I
done
don't
sat out
know,
2 or
man.
3 weeks and they getting smoked, he like,
Them
hey man, you see
them
what's going
motherfuckers
on,
like
man.
different type of cheap. I don't know.
You need me out there, man. I mean, look at it. Look. Y'all done lost the last 2 games by 25. Y'all ain't got no sacks in those 3 games,
I
man. You
mean,
need me out there.
but are we really thinking that the Bengals front office feel like they have a team that can compete? I mean,
Yes,
they paid Joe and T. I mean, Joe and Jamar. Yeah,
I
they
do believe
paid
it, sir.
the shit that sell the tickets.
They got
But
over
yeah,
400 million invested in that offense. Yeah, they believe
man,
they can
them
win.
I don't
niggas ain't
think
trying to win.
I don't have any questions about the offense. All my questions deal on the defensive side of the
Defense.
ball and me not believing that they've done enough to improve that unit to make a playoff run.
Right.
I don't think them niggas trying to win.
I don't think you invest that much guaranteed money, sir, and you ain't trying to win.
I mean, not
You,
really. They
I mean, you trying
selling
to,
tickets.
yeah. I mean, you trying to win and get to the playoffs. I don't think right now they got Super Bowl aspirations though.
I think they do.
How?
How?
Because I think they believe, and this is personally like just listening to they front office talk and interviews and stuff like that. The players that they had that they did not pay, they believe that they have replaced them with players of their caliber, if not just a few steps lower. And they believe with the right coaching, those players can perform, if not better, than at the same level of the guys that have left the room.
Man,
And they've said it on multiple occasions. They showed you. They drafted Dax Hill. They sat him on the bench for a year, and then they said we're not going to pay Jesse Bates because Dax Hill can step in that spot. They did it. They did. I mean, they do it every year with players on their team that they let walk. They draft guys. When you do that, you telling me you believe the guy that's behind him is a replacement because at that time those players were eligible to be paid, and you had the money because you invested that money this year. We watched you invest that money into 3 players so far, 370, 380 million guaranteed dollars into players where 2 years ago you didn't have to pay either one of those receivers. You could have paid Jesse Bates. You could have paid DJ
Jesse
Reader.
Bates don't sell tickets though,
But
or
Jesse Bates
jerseys.
Jesse Bates helps you be a better defense to win games.
So they would have kept him, and they didn't.
I
They
mean,
went with the guy that sell tickets.
Because they believe Dax Hill is
And how's that worked out? I
hasn't
mean,
worked well because
you
they playing the
talking
right
like the
position.
Bengals got a history of letting Pro Bowl players go and replacing them. They don't.
But they have a history of saying they have though.
Saying they have what?
Replaced them.
With who? I mean, everybody gets replaced, dog. I mean, just because you get rid of Jesse Bates, don't mean that you don't have to put a player on the field to play that position. Everybody gets
No, but
replaced,
they traded up to
but the
get Dax
players that
Hill
they're
in that
replacing
draft.
them with are not living up to who they replace. So
They
it's
traded up
not
for Dax Hill though. They gave up
okay.
capital to get Dax, and then they let Jesse go because they
All
believed
right.
Dax was the next
So
safety.
how's that working out for them?
They moved him to nickel where he
yeah,
should
Okay.
have been at the whole time.
It's
Okay.
not.
He wasn't even a damn safety. That's how it worked out for him. They picked the guy that they thought was a safety that played nickel and played him at safety. He played bad. Now you moved into his right position, and down the stretch last year he played
You
better.
know you bashing the same front office that you trying to praise, right? You know that, right?
I ain't praising them. I said they believe that they have traded the players and replaced them with the requisite pieces. Not saying that they have, but I said what they
Oh,
believe.
oh, well, I guess though, I don't think that they're trying to contend at all. I just think they're trying to sell tickets.
Yeah, but don't you kind of sell tickets by contending though?
No.
I mean, to me, I just think for me, I think they're trying to get to the playoffs. Now, outside of that, I can't speak. I'm not calling them Super Bowl contenders. Like I'm not doing that. But I definitely think they're trying to compete to get to the
Okay.
playoffs. Because if you get to the playoffs, then you get to sell more tickets,
Okay.
and you get more parking fees, more concessions, and all that. So yeah, by you making the playoffs, and let's say you get a home game, then
So you think they're gonna make the playoffs? Exactly.
I'm not willing to commit to that yet.
Right.
So
Exactly. They've done nothing to make you think that they're even trying to make the playoffs.
and
Much less you think they're going to make the playoffs.
I mean, first I got to get to training camp. I got to see them in pre like I got to see that because they're also running a new defensive system. So it's like I kind of got to see this, but I mean, before I'm ready to say that they're gonna make the playoffs. I'm just not willing to say off rip, yeah, they're gonna make the playoffs, and I don't know if they got the linebackers to run Al Golden system to begin with.
I'm
Pop was saying something.
Oh yeah, I think she cut out though.
Okay.
yeah, no, I got a phone call. Yeah, I'm giving them 8 games into the regular season before I can say if I feel like they have playoff potential. There's just too many unknowns on the defensive side of the ball for me to just feel comfortable saying that at this moment. I need to see games being played.
Oh no, if you personally ask me my perception of the Bengals, they're gonna be a great offense with some shit defense again. I mean, let's just be real. I mean, should they aspirations be Super Bowl or bust? Hell no. Should they have invested that much money in 3 players? Hell no. But when you invest that type of money, in my opinion, I mean, you have to have some type of I want to win. I mean, if not, you should have moved off T Higgins. If you're not trying to win, you could have just paid the 2 guys and had some money left over and probably built your defense. But instead, you invested in T Higgins. So yeah, I'm gonna put it on your jacket. You Super Bowl or bust for me. Me. For real, bro. That's a lot of money, bro. That's a hell of a lot of money, bro.
It definitely is a lot of money. I'm not denying that at all. I mean, it's definitely a good chunk of change.
For
I
you
just
to
don't.
go into a season and be like, I'm just trying to fill the fucking seats. Oh yeah. If you doing that, then you just wasting money anyway. You probably need to sell your franchise because you don't know what the hell you're doing.
I mean, but I also think that they don't have the defense for me to call them Super Bowl. A Super Bowl contender, or Super Bowl or bust.
Nah, off talent, like I said, off talent, I think they're gonna be a middle of the pack damn team again. But if I'm looking at that salary cap, if I'm looking at money invested, I would say the money you have invested, you should have Super Bowl aspirations. Because if the Eagles invest fucking $400 million in the fucking 3 players, then you know what I mean. You should have Super Bowl aspirations. If the Patriots did it, you would have the same. Sir, if your team had invested $400 million on one side of the ball, you would feel like, hey, we need to win something. Because guess what? Most of the time, if you didn't spend that much money, you in a purgatory type situation.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely that's true.
You stuck to them players, brother. Them 3 months ain't leaving no time soon. Keep paying money to what? Be at home and fucking, you know what I mean? 7-win team. You need to sell that shit. You need to
My
sell
the
that shit.
Bengals is like they're gonna have to start the season all better than what they have.
Yeah, that's the biggest issue for them boys. Oh my god, the first 5 weeks for them is
Yeah,
tough.
I mean, if they can't start the season better than that, then I I'm not. I mean, like they're facing an uphill battle because everybody got the Ravens winning that division. So pretty much I mean, compete with all the other AFC wildcard teams to make the wild card. So
yeah, it's a sticky situation for him, bro. Really sticky. Because I don't think you did enough. I agree with Pop. I don't think you did enough. I think you went out and you put a couple band-aids on a big ass wound. You didn't even cover the whole wound. It's still big holes. We can clearly see. And you just said it, like the linebackers for Al Golden defense definitely got to be.
I mean, yeah, you gotta look at him in
That.
college. If you don't have the linebackers, that system is not.
It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. And I don't know if they've done enough work to get those linebackers in there. So I just don't know.
And they in an uphill battle too, because I mean that division they play in is obviously already like uphill battle when you playing those guys, and then you got the AFC in general, like 7, 8, 9 wins. You might be sitting at the crib, bro. 10, you might be sitting at the crib, damn near.
Yeah. I mean, the shit is tough. But I mean, they're gonna have to figure that shit out. I mean, that's not my team. That's not my problem. So, and I get to play them again this year when I'm, I mean, like my team beat them in Cincinnati last year. So I mean, we're gonna try to do it 2 years in a row.
Oh yeah, Sim. I feel you though. I feel you. But nah, y'all aspirations, man. Hey, listen, as a Commander fan, shit. If we want to be realistic, I mean, probably 10 wins. But if you saying you got to build off what you did last year, then shit, you got to go back for 12, right? Got to see 12 again. That shit. Hey JMIK, thinking about what we were just having that conversation. That shit kind of sucked for them, bro. They overachieved like a motherfucker. Now everybody gonna be like, if you don't make the NFC Championship, it's a shit season. And it kind of sucks because you probably shouldn't have been the NFC Championship to begin with. But hey, man, we made it to an hour and 28 minutes, man. We appreciate y'all for tapping in. It's 112 people in here, man. We appreciate all y'all for coming through, chilling with us. We're gonna be here again Saturday, 11:15 a.m. Tap in with us, man. If you haven't yet, hit the like, hit the subscribe, leave a comment. If you haven't followed us yet on Twitter, follow the CheckDown page and the community, man. We turning up and up, man. We having a good time. But we appreciate y'all for tapping in. Keep tapping in with us, man. Hey, Pop, give us those final words. We can get up out of here.
For sure. Keep tapping in with us every Saturday at 11:15 a.m. Follow the Check Down Twitter page. Join the Check Down community. We're trying to get more active on there. And tell a friend and tell a friend. We'll talk in with y'all next Saturday.